Either it's Carl Irwin, the Common Magician, with another trick that I do. This is a trick that I actually perform for people. It's not just a theoretical concept that I'm sharing on the channel for your consideration, but it's a real trick that I do. It involves a shuffled deck of cards, and what I do is I explain to spectators at the beginning that cards begin in a sort of state that we call new deck order. Whenever you buy a deck of cards, it comes in this new deck order. And the idea there is that the cards are in position numerically and by their suit. So all of the cards are in numerical order by suit. And whenever you take the cards out and you shuffle them, the deck can never go back to that state. It's really not possible. There is one chance in a number so big it has 68 zeros. One chance in that number, I'm not sure the number even has a name, it's so large, that the deck could ever return back to its original state. And every time you shuffle a deck of cards, you're essentially creating something new that has never been there in the history of the world. It's the same chances that someone could shuffle a deck of cards and then someone else could shuffle another deck of cards and randomly arrive at the exact same order. It just never happened, and it probably will never happen. That's what the odds are for all of the cards. However, if we think about one card, just one card out of the entire deck, the chances that one card would return to its point of origin, its place where it began, sort of where it was birthed into the world, if we want to be very metaphorical, right? The chance that one card, any card, would return to that point in a random shuffle is 1 chance in 52. To some, that might seem like very terrible odds. To others, it might, you might consider, well, that's doable. There's a chance, right? Let's try something. I want you to think about any card. Go ahead and name any card that comes to mind. Now, you're not here right now, so we'll try to fairly randomize this. I have a deck of cards that is mixed up. We'll mix it up a little bit more just to make sure that it is random. And what we're going to do is we're going to randomly pick a card out. So if I just dribble and stop, say we stop on this card right here and we've arrived at the 8 of diamonds. The 8 of diamonds. I want to see something. I want to see if this card that you thought of might be where we expect it to be. Let's count through the cards as if this was a brand new deck. Brand new out of the box. This would be the Ace of Spades. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King of Spades. Next comes the diamonds. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right here would be the 8 of diamonds. The 8 of diamonds. Now, I just want to be clear. The deck is shuffled. Nothing is where we would expect it to be. Everything is out of order. And you thought of the 8 of diamonds. Now, I want to return to these odds. 1 chance in 52. Obviously, there is a chance. However, I want to suggest to you that in this moment, right here, right now, between you and me and this deck of cards, the outcome is not a chance, but it is absolutely certain. So this is going home. This is a trick that I do for people. It's one of my favorite tricks that I do for people whenever I'm prepared to do it and I have the opportunity to perform it. It is a routine kind of trick. It is something that has a narrative to it and a discussion, and then it's this demonstration of chance, luck, skill, whatever they want to take away from it. It doesn't matter. Right? If the spectator walks away and they say that that was a chance opportunity, that happened and it happened, that's fine. Magicians, I have found, as this has gone up for sale, it's been reviewed a couple of times. First of all, the reviews have all been good. So when people have road tested this with individuals, they're finding that it hits really, really hard. One of the recent reviews was Unbiased Magic Reviews. He suggested that when he did this for people, he was unsure about how it would play because of the abstract ideas there about new deck order and whether or not people understand that. What he found was that he did this trick and then he had a hard time doing anything else after that because his spectators kept coming back to it. They wanted to know, was it chance? Did this happen? Did you make that happen? It really puzzled them and they couldn't get their minds off of it. And I suggest that that is how this does. That's how this goes. Whenever you do this for people, that's the kind of response that you'll get. It is a real puzzle to the brain. It is something that they will think about and they will remember and they'll recall and they'll want to see it again. They'll want to try it. They'll want to see what happens. So, and that's the best outcome in my mind. I mean, that's the kind of end that you want to have to a trick. Right. Usually, I think with a lot of pick a card, find the card, the typical kind of magic tricks that we do, particularly with cards, the usual ending to that is, oh, that's amazing. That's nice. What's for lunch? Right. That's usually how card magic goes with people. This is different, though. This is one of those effects where they really will think about it. It is a pick a card, find a card, but the way that it's done is just so fair and unusual. And this idea that they won't be able to relate to the concept of new deck order is I think magicians thinking too hard, right? It's a simple concept and it's easy to explain. Whenever you get things, they come in a new order with the cellophane on, and playing cards, they come in order, in the order of a numerical order and by suit. And all of the cards start in that place, and then from there they get shuffled and they go far away from home. And the chances that any one card ever comes back to their starting location is fairly minimal. So I use that as a premise. Some people that have gotten this trick, they're skeptical of that presentation. They say, well, I want to present it in a different way. I mean, you can do whatever you want. They're skeptical that you can explain this to spectators and that they'll understand it. You're thinking way too hard. I firmly believe in this presentation that you describe this idea of new deck order, that you explain that the chances that the cards can ever come back to that as a whole are so remote that it never can happen. And then you focus on one card and you say the chances are such, and here we find that it has happened here. That is the narrative that I have settled on that makes a lot of sense, and it's interesting. It's an interesting discussion because it's actually rooted in truth. These are true odds that you can explain to a spectator and they can get it. They get it right away. So it's not abstract. It really isn't. It's a pretty straightforward concept that makes sense to people. And it hits as hard as any card at any number, Burglas effecty kind of, trick. It hits like that. It plays in that manner. It really is my favorite card at any number kind of plot, and I enjoy doing it. I do it whenever I can. So that is Going Home. You can find this as an effect with a number of with a video with specific teaching on the effect and a number of varieties that you can approach it from, depending on what your style and what your comfort level is and how you carry cards. But you can also find the effect in its very basic form in a single rendition in my ebook, Any Thoughts on Akan from a Common Magician, which is also available at Penguin. So 2 different places you can find this trick. For the trick and what it is, I recommend the video because I talk about a variety of ways that you can approach it that gives a lot of flexibility for different performance styles and the way that you may like to carry cards and the way that you may like to do card magic. So anyway, that's Going Home. Good luck with that. Happy magicking.